fun fact about bullying. About 19.2% of students ages 12 to 18 enrolled in grades 6 to 12 have experienced bullying across the nation. This is about 1 in 5 adolescents. Rashawn and my co-host
Camilla
for Echoes of the Feed. And in today's episode, we'll be talking about cyberbullying on social media, its effects on mental health, how to prevent it, protect yourself against it, and how to create a safer online environment. So Camilla, what is cyberbullying?
According to UNICEF, cyberbullying is basically a type of bullying that happens online or through social media. It can happen on messages, on gaming platforms, or even through text messages. It usually involves repeatedly trying to scare, embarrass, or upset another person. Some examples include sharing embarrassing photos or videos, spreading rumors online, sending mean or threatening messages, or pretending to be someone to cause trouble.
Here's the thing. When it comes to cyberbullying, a lot of times it's not just online. What happens is it doesn't just coincide with solely the digital. It also happens physically as well. So if you're getting cyberbullied, you may also be getting bullied in the real world. And it's important for you to know that when it comes to cyberbullying, there's always going to be that digital footprint. And with that digital footprint, you do have some leverage in a legal scenario because cyberbullies are able to be tried under the law. And it's important you know that because with that digital footprint, you can help prove your case.
Right.
Because bullies get punished. All states have laws requiring schools to respond to bullying. As cyberbullying has become more and more prevalent in today's age, with the use of technology, many states include cyberbullying or mention cyberbullying offenses under these aforementioned bullying laws.
That's crazy because, I heard teenagers who are 18 or 19, when the offense occurs, they are trialed as an adult in court and they receive adult conviction, which can mean time behind bars. Juveniles who commit offenses when they are 10 to 17 years old will go to juvenile court and face delinquency charges. Cyberbullying is a misdemeanor in Colorado.
Colorado Revised Statutes, Section 18, 9, 111, Subsection 1, Paragraph E. I know that's a mouthful, but it's the Colorado law that defines cyberbullying as intentionally harassing someone over the phone, text message, or on a social media site, which is essentially the same as the UNICEF definition that Camilla gave, but just a bit more vague.
When you think about it, do you think people know really about the fact that there is charges and people actually do take steps to preventing it?
When it comes to cyberbullying or just bullying in general, oftentimes it's easy to feel isolated. But remember, you are not alone. Not just the legal system is on your side, but the people around you are on your side. So if you're ever being bullied, reach out for help.
And if you can't reach out for help, but what about if you can't reach out for help? What would you do?
So here's the thing. What do you mean by can't reach out to help? Do you mean the immediate persons around you are not useful allies in that scenario?
So let's say somebody's getting bullied, right? And they try to go tell a trusted adult and that a trusted adult ain't listening, or whoever they went to go tell to get support, they're not getting that support that they need. What should they do?
Remember, the police is always an option. Like I said, bullying and cyberbullying, these are illegal acts. And if you go to the police, you can get help there.
You're right, but it's at some point that you start noticing some people will be ignorant when it comes to even what enforcing rules. What police, not always are they gonna be professional. So what would you recommend if it's police aren't helping because it's not too much of a serious situation or something, they don't have enough evidence or something like that? What could they do?
So if you don't have enough evidence for the police to step forward, then you've got to try the closest trusted adult persons in your area. So think parents, think teachers, think the principal, think, that one gym teacher who you're friends with. You can always tell a trusted adult if you're being bullied.
Right, but but let's say that person had tried those people all before trying enforcement, police and stuff like that. What do they have to do? Because some people don't actually get as much help or as much support as a lot of other people do.
if you're in a bullying situation and your nearby trusted adults can't help you, so the school can't help you, your parents can't help you, and you don't have enough evidence for the police to be able to step forward, remember there are always online resources that you can use. There's so many organizations out there that are solely designed to protect children, and you can contact any one of them, any one of those numerous organizations to seek help. Because here's the thing, I feel like in the world in general, children tend to be a priority. People do really tend to care. So I think in a situation like that, you're gonna have to seek the help of some outside sources.
Okay, I agree with you all the way, but honestly, like, I feel like some people should be able to just learn to walk away from a situation, you know? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to have to walk away from certain things every time. And it's like, at the end of the day, a lot of people will always tell you as soon as you get older, you start getting told, don't let that kind of stuff get to you. Don't listen to that stuff. Like, really, I feel like some people should learn to be, I guess, ignorant about it, like ignore it, like don't let it get to you. Don't let it even put you down in any position, because I feel like that's the reason why a lot of people like even get into situations where they can't like handle themselves, because they really do take in what people have to say. But I really do feel like it should be that we all learn to just ignore those kind of people. Because at the end of the day, you going out to go tell a trusted adult or all that stuff is giving them the attention that they want. Like, you're giving them all that attention that they need, want, all that. And even then, at the end of the day, what if like you going and telling that one person? Because, some adults don't do everything. Like, some adults will be like, oh yeah, I'll help you, whatever. But it's like they don't really help you at the end of the day. Some adults really just got so much going on, they can't help the person that needs help. So it's just like, I feel like people should also learn to be ignorant about a situation. But maybe that's just me.
When it comes to telling a trusted adult, you're telling the trusted adult so they can hopefully tranquilize the situation and nip it in the bud. However, before that, if you want to try just not giving the bully any attention, just ignoring them, that's also that is a fine course of action. But you just got to remember, if it ever escalates, you've always got to tell that trusted adult, because you taking things into your own hands, that could make you liable, that could make you responsible for any number of like personal or legal issues. So the funny thing about bullying is, oftentimes, commonly in society, you don't really even notice it's happening, right? What are some toxic behaviors that you have when you're with friends or friends have with you that can kind of be classified as bullying, but people don't really recognize it as bullying?
What do you mean?
So like, imagine you got a friend and they walk up and they're like, "What's up, dumbass? How you doing?" Stuff like that.
Dang, why?
I know, but some people really are like that.
Crazy. You're right, but I mean, it depends on the situation. Like, really, because, once you start getting older, it's not that you start building up certain, like, it really does depend. Like, see, now, if my friend was to come up to me and be like, "Hey, dumb it, hold up, wait a minute, who is you talking to?" Like, if it was never classified that we could talk to each other in any kind of disrespect, that kind of respect should not be, like, being placed in my face. So it's like, if you're telling me, like, oh, she's saying I'm a dumbass, like, for what? To put me down in that situation? Yeah, no, I wouldn't be playing like that. I would ask, like, what's your problem? Do you have a problem? She got a problem? Well, we could solve it.
All right. However, what if there is no malicious intent? What if the person's just doing it in an endearing way? What if that's how, they communicate their affection for you?
Oh, well, that would be known. Like, that would be a boundary that's set between me and my friends, and we would talk it through. Because at the end of the day, I feel like a friendship is completely different from a stranger online talking crap, is the truth. And I feel like my friend, if she lets me know that, oh, yeah, I want to call you like this, don't take it in any offensive way. Okay, yeah, I'll do it. But, like, you got to make sure you're giving the tone that it's not offensive. But if I hear the tone offensive, I'm going to ask about it. But, like, if I was being cyberbullied, oh, I'm coming back with the crash out. Like, what you talking about? I'm commenting back. I mean, at the end of the day, you could always say like something back, and you don't have to even be mean. Be funny. Make fun of it. Like at the end of the day, they're trying to be funny with what they want to say. So you be funny with what you gotta say, you know? But that's me. That's why I be like, what examples, cause me, if I'm getting cyberbullied, I'm talking smack. Like I will send you a meme and I will start joking. Like I don't care. I will take it as a joke because at the end of the day, they want attention. They want you mad. They want you to react so you could like talk to them, give them that time that they're not getting at home or wherever they're at. So it's just like me, you gonna see me sending pictures and ending the conversation right there. Don't even play with me.
So as a person, would you say you're not really all that affected by cyberbullying?
No, because I feel like to me, nobody needs to have an opinion about me. Like they don't know me. They ain't get to know me. Like these are people that are like barely coming into my life, starting to get to know who I am. And if like they don't like something about me, okay, let me know. But like don't go online and try to be messy and put it all in public. We're not getting paid for that. We're not getting paid for that. See, if I was a millionaire, absolutely. I know you didn't yawn on my speech.
No, I did not yawn. It's
Okay.
just this was so impactful. I'm tearing up a bit. That's what's happening. Yeah, it's just so surprising. I'm just tearing up a bit. Because here's the thing. For some people, it's a big thing for them. And
Yeah.
it can be really demoralizing, really dispiriting. Because imagine you're just there
Mhm.
and you take a picture and you post it on the internet.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, you're just swarmed by this flood of negative comments.
Mhm.
For instance, I think I was on TikTok recently,
Mhm.
and I saw this lady, and all of her comments were bullying her. All of her comments were calling her ugly. Some people were telling her that she should end her own life, and I felt so bad because this lady, like, she went on to tell us how these experiences online have caused her to develop social anxiety and negative self-image, and how she needs to be in therapy and be on antidepressant meds all because of this. So when I see you, just being able to shrug it off, I'm a bit proud of you, if I'm being honest.
I mean, I think the reason why I shrug it off is because of the fact I learned, like, trust me, I was not like this in middle school. I never have suffered cyberbullying exactly, but like maybe I have. Maybe it was like the slightest amount, but I did, like maybe a little. But at the end of the day, I learned from it, because it, I mean, for me, like my situation, that's why I say it wasn't cyberbullying basically because mine went from online to in person. And when I say, oh, I wouldn't trust I wouldn't trust an adult, is because when I wanted to trust an adult and I told everything, I had the evidence, all that, nothing was done. And that's why I say enforcement like doesn't matter to me either because law enforcement doesn't do everything all the time. I went to police and all, they start laughing. They laughed in my face, told me like, oh, sucks to suck, grow up. So
Wow.
yeah, so that's why I say it's certain people. I don't say everybody's like that, but I'm saying certain people, they will not care. And then it's like what makes it worse is we're in a year where it's like people could profile you, honestly. They could just take a good look at you and just be like, oh, yeah, you look like the type of kid to do something like that. So what happened happened. So it wasn't that I don't care. It's because I had to learn from it. Like I had to learn to not care because I didn't have people that were gonna stand up for me. So when it comes to people that can't stand, like they don't have nobody to stand up for them, I would tell them, stand up for yourself. Like don't listen to them. They got so much to say, but they reflecting everything that they say about themselves. It's what they're told. At the end of the day, it's the same thing you will always notice. Like there's sometimes my mom would be like, oh, you be treating your sister the same way people be treating you. And you know what? I don't, but like take that. Like take just those words itself. Like you're treating somebody the way you get treated. It's enough to say it all. So when it comes to like cyberbullying, that's why I say don't pay attention to it because it's like they're just reflecting what they're going through. And that's why I say either they bored or they need some kind of attention because it's like, why would they go out their way to go look at your flaws? In fact, why are you looking so hard at somebody to notice what they have or something that's wrong with them? At the end of the day, we're all human. We have all of us have something that's wrong with us, whether it's physically, mentally, like we always have a problem. And if people want to point that out, they could point it out. See, if they in person and they tell you in your face, you know what, bro, it's something that you could change. But if it's online, why are you caring, bro? They on the phone. They can't even see your face. You can't see their reaction. You can't see how they acting. It shows that they a fool. So yeah, like to me, it's like I'm big when it comes to being like, leave the situation alone. I wouldn't go private just because somebody goes and talks about you. Now, I would go private if it's like, let's say the cyberbullying is like online, they start taking pictures of you and start posting it around. That's when I would be like, you know what, go private. But most of the time, don't let somebody define you. Don't let somebody tell you that you ugly when you really not. Everybody beautiful. Like, swear, everybody's beautiful. It don't matter if you're fat. Like, it don't matter if, like, in face you're not perfect. At the end of the day, not not looks ain't everything. Like, looks ain't everything. In fact, if you could have the worst looks ever, but you could have the kindest heart, and that's all that matters. And like, that's the thing with cyberbullying and social media. In social media, they could only see the physical. They can't see the inside. So that's why I don't pay no mind to people that talk online, because it's like, you don't know me. So get to know me, then come judge. Like, I don't know.
So this previous experience of yours, it seems like it's helped shape you into such a strong, willful young woman.
Yup. And I feel like that was supposed to happen. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I still hate it. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I still be plotting sometimes. But I mean, the most I could do from it was learn and move on. But am I moving on? No. Because not all the time do you move on. But it definitely shaped me up and did what it had to do for sure. For sure. Because I feel like if that hadn't happened in middle school, at this time, during the current times that I'm going through, I wouldn't be able to deal with it. In fact, I probably would be right now the softest person you met. Like, a lot of things would get to me. And I feel like when it comes to cyberbullying, people should just learn from it. Because at the end of the day, okay, they was talking online, but there's going to be people that do talk about you in your face. And that could be they're at a workspace, at school, anywhere. And you're going to have to learn how to deal with it and grow out of it. So I feel like when it comes to cyberbullying, I feel like for people to learn best and like, get better in those kind of situations, they have to hold their own and just ignore the situation. And I know it's hard, but at the end of the day, we're all human. We could ignore something that we don't want to hear. We always do. Like, don't you ever just ignore a teacher when you don't want to hear what they got to say. I know you do sometimes.
Yeah.
I know you do. So it's like, it's as simple as that. Or like, even then, I know a lot of people, like, they have jobs and like their boss says something that they don't like and they'll just ignore it. They'll do what they got to do to make it right. Because it's like, at the end of the day, you're your person. So run your own person. Don't run it off of people's comments or like concerns. Boy, if you concerned for me, go pay for it. Like, I don't know. I just feel like people can't judge me because it's like, okay, you pointed this out, but you gonna pay for it so I could fix it or something? Like, what? Is you gonna give me money for like what I need? Like, that's why I'd be like, because you know how like back then, like, fat shaming was a big thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. I would be like, you know what? This weight could go away any day, but the sass, the attitude, and the ugly, like everything, your whole person, your ugly personality, that will never get ruined. But like with you, like you having big waist, something like that, that could be fixed. Like, having like facial features that you don't like, you could fix them. Like, it may not be a big thing, and I'm not talking about no plastic surgery. I'm speaking in general. Like, fix your attitude. The brighter you are, the happier you are, the more you shine, honestly. Like, I've seen that. But, you know.
You know, since you mentioned that, it's got me thinking about some TikTok posts I see. Because on TikTok, I feel as if people are hesitant to bully you. So what they do is they give you backhanded compliments. So it's not overt bullying, but it's subtle and it still makes you feel bad. So there's this one, I think it's Lizzo. Lizzo is her name. I forgot for a second. But right, I went on Lizzo's her account, right? Because she had posted a new music video and I wanted to listen to it. So what ended up happening was I went to the music video and I opened the comments, and then it was just a bunch of comments. I was like, wow, oh my God, you have such an Aphrodite body type, you know? Greek men would fight over you. It's like no one start hating in the comments, right?
Right.
So it's like what happens is people just go out of their way to hate. They want to hate so much and they know they can't hate. So they figure out new and innovative ways to hate. And I feel like in a situation like that, what I think your advice could prove really helpful because it seems so insightful. It's like it's such a mature response. It's got a lot of depth. And I feel like a lot of people do well to adopt it.
Yeah, because, like, honestly, like, the one thing that you could really take out of everything I say is when people bully, it's because they bored. Straight up, they're bored. I mean, you just said it. People finding new ways to critique or judge or insult in general, that's enough to say it all. Why you so bored to come talk about me? Straight up. So it's just like, it's that simple. It's little things that show the purpose of bullying, like straight up. So that's why I say don't pay no mind. It ain't worth your time.
Okay, so we had just mentioned a situation where in which like a friend of yours could like unintentionally be bullying you in some way and how you could
Right.
address that. Now, I've got to ask you, Camille, has there ever been a situation where you were the bully, but it was unintentional? Like you were an unintentional bully, both like digital or online, digital or in real life, I mean.
I've never bullied. Like I can't even lie. I'm really trying really hard to figure out a time I coulda, but I've never have. Like, and if I ever have, I probably meant it. Like, I probably meant it. I was just probably speaking facts. Because I'll never talk bad about somebody. Like, straight up. Nor to just make myself feel better, nor anything. The only time I'll ever speak on anybody is if they had something to say about me to begin with and it wasn't true. Then I'll say something that was true, and it's not always that I will. It's just because I don't have like anything else to say. Like I said, I can't go to a trusted adult. No, there's no trusted adults in my life. And even if I was to have a trusted adult, I would rather go do it myself than go tell that person because they're not gonna be with me by the time I'm like 20 or 30. Like. So it's just like if I ever was to bully somebody like online, I don't even go online. Like I don't rant online. So yeah, I don't think I have like at all. I do be making fun of people though, but it's not it's not messed up because that's in person. It's not cyberbullying, and then it's like if I had something to say about that person, it's all jokes and games most of the time. But like if I was insulted, yes, most of the time, whatever I say that comes out my mouth, I meant that in an offensive way, in a real way, all that. So yeah, I don't think I have. Have you ever like cyberbullied?
I mean, I think we mentioned this in a previous podcast episode, but I don't really even have social media apart from TikTok. And on TikTok, all I do is scroll, like, bookmark. I can't tell you the last time I've commented something on TikTok. And even if I have, I can't remember what I commented.
You know what? You just hit me with the social media flashback. I guess you could count it as cyberbullying. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's scary, bro. I actually did mess up big time. I had this girl that had a problem with me. I won't speak names or nothing like that. I won't say how serious it was for my situation, but the thing I will say was I did go online and I did post her face. Like I posted it up real ugly, all that. I didn't care. Yeah. So it was like I had sent a picture and I sent it to an account that was finna, make
Yeah.
fun of it. And it was like you put a certain picture of that person and they'll put the lookalike. And that's what I did. I sent a picture and I sent the lookalike and it got posted up. Yeah. So yeah, that was cyberbullying, I will admit. But it was because they was going on the net to talk about me and like stuff like that. So I guess they started it, I ended it. They never went back to talk about it. So I guess you that's what I'm saying. You could hold stuff in your own hands, but most of the time got to fight the fire with fire, and you can't just promote that most of the time because it wasn't the best option, but it's what worked. Because some people, you gotta hit them with the reality of like, you're petty, but I could be pettier, or like you're being rude, but I could top that. So yeah, that's one thing that for sure I did, and that was like recent too. Like, not gonna lie, a few years recent, but still, it was recent enough. So yeah.
Would you like to hear a fun fact about bullying? According to stopbullying.gov, about 19.2% of students ages 12 to 18 enrolled in grades 6 to 12 have experienced bullying across the nation. During the 2021 to 2022 school year, this is about 1 in 5 adolescents. That's a lot of people being bullied.
You're right. And like, that's so crazy because we as humans, we should be like helping one another, not putting each other down. But it's because, like I said, people be miserable and they need something to talk about, because their lives ain't that interesting. So that's why people need to step up and talk. I feel like people that have been bullied, they should speak up. Like, speak up. Like, whether it's online, people are gonna see it, and one day it's gonna get out there to a point where you could say, "Hey, this is happening to me. I don't know what to do." People that go through it or went through it could give advice, and that's what I don't like. People don't admit to being like bullied or anything like that, and it's like, it's what made you you, because people made you insecure about something that you was doing the whole time, and because of it, you changed. And it's like, okay, yeah, it was the best thing, but like, try to make it that it built you like stronger. Don't show that you was weak. Because at the end of the day, I feel like people bully the weakest. Because if you the strongest, they know not to mess with you. They know you gonna come back with something, and it's like, it's gonna give them fear. So it's like, I feel like people definitely should start being stronger. That's it. Like, put your mentality to be strong. Swear, like, cause bro, the stronger you are, the better you is. Like I said, it, even smiling is strong because smiling makes no swear smiling makes you shine. Like, it makes you noted. It makes you a happy person. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I be going out with some friends, and we be going out, and we don't be ready like that. Like, we don't be dressed out for that, none of that. And we really be getting like good conversations out of people just because we smiling. you know like, at the end of the day, it's the way you pursue yourself out there. If you put yourself all happy and stuff, can't nobody judge. You're happy. Now, if somebody judges and says something so little, man, you better start laughing at that stuff, because it's like, I'm over here smiling all happy, you mad. So I feel like, social media has a big thing about cyberbullying, right? And how it happens, but they don't speak about how to fix it. Cause like, that's the reason why a lot of people end up with anxiety and like all these like after effects after like cyberbullying, because they look at it and they take it to heart. And it's like, don't take it to heart. In fact, most of the times, like, people say something about you, just look at it and shit, if it's true, fix it up. If it got you insecure, fix it up. Like, do it for your, like, don't do it because they pointed it out, but put it to a point where it's like, you know what, I want to fix this for the better. So I feel like people could do it. I feel like everybody could cut it short and actually put their best into it. Like, people could actually just be happy even when cyberbullied, and they could like suffer minimal of like after effects, minimal, because at the end of the day, everybody's strong. Like, that's a fact. Like, even adults that think they're like weak, we're all strong, because bro, we go to work, go to school. Like, one person cannot just weaken you up like that. Swear. So yeah, what you gotta say about it?
I feel like you're talking from a personal place. But
Mhm.
here's the thing: I'd categorize you as a pretty strong person, but not everyone has that kind of mental fortitude about them, you know. And here's the thing: if you're being cyberbullied and someone says, "Damn, you got such a ugly head shape," you know, your head shape is just so bad. It's like it looks like a house, but in human form. Like you should really just, I don't know, end it all or something like that. How do you even fix up in a situation like that? Like, how
Fix
can you
you
not
don't need to
take it to
fix up
heart?
nothing. Look
But
at
that's
that.
what you
Look
just
at no,
said.
no, no. Look, you look at their profile. Look at it real quick. Give them a quick glimpse. First of all, look at their head. Look like look at what they talking about. Find them another reason. Like I swear to you, I'm telling you, the people that bully the most, ugliest ones. Whether it's facially or mentally, like I swear. It's ugly in general that they got all that attitude. And like honestly, when I say fix, like fix it, it don't like the head stuff, like I'm not talking about physical features. Cause you know, not always is bullying about physical. Like it's always gonna be like you said, like, oh, you a dumbass or something like that. Like it will always be either words or actually like something that they see in you. But that's when you look at them and say something back. Cause at the end of the day, okay, I don't promote making somebody insecure, but sometimes you have to. Cause it's the fact that they feeling too secure about themselves. You gotta push them back. Like, hold up, man. You in the same position as I am. You just as much as I am. Ugly just as much as I am.
Would you, the best part about cyberbullying, and this is not coming from me as like a cyberbully or anything, but the best part about cyberbullying is the protection and anonymity bullying in the digital space gives. Because here's the thing, like if I go on a post of yours and I'm like, "You're so ugly," then I immediately block you. You can't get that gratification
Oh
of
yes, I
going on my profile and of going on my profile and be like, "Oh my god, you ugly ass boy," you know, or you can't even message me and reply and try and, you know, disparage me or anything like that. With the digital space, you have all those protections preventing you from facing any real ramifications, which is why cyberbullying is so prevalent.
you know, all I gotta say is if you was to ever do that to me, not even you, in general, somebody was to ever think that it's okay to come up to my show, first of all, my account, my show, and come and comment on my stuff, first of all, you clearly love me, baby. You clearly want to see more of me because why are you clicking on my account to begin with? If you don't like what you see, baby, scroll. Now, if they block me, boy, you scared straight up. I'm not even gonna waste my time to even try to hunt you down or anything like that. In fact, that's when I'm finna take it less personal because you was so scared. So first off, you commented on my account, right? Like they commented on my account, said I was ugly. You said what you had to say, but online, baby, you covering your face through a screen, like through a screen. So why do I care about what you gotta say? Cause you blocked me. You didn't stand on what you had to say. Cause that's the thing. Like, if they don't stand on it, don't even pay no mind to it. That's why, okay, cyberbullying. That I'm gonna clear up what I said. Cyberbullying. If they're saying that you ugly or they pointing out something that you could change, don't change it. Don't change it. You don't have to change nothing for that person. Now in person though, you know what? Sometimes people say stuff and they don't know how to word it in a way that you need to hear it. You know? But that's coming off of like, let's just say somebody comes up and it's like, hey, you low key look like this. Damn, just look at it. I'ma fix this real quick and fix it. I mean, you can't fix your head, you can't fix your nose, nothing so physical, but like you could fix your attitude straight up. You could fix that attitude and you could get the best out of it straight up. If you put yourself to if you honestly don't even care what people say, it's you. You know, you're your own person. You only have yourself to please. And if you're happy with yourself, if you're happy with who you are, and you even then, if you was happier even the moment before this bully came in and told you what you had to change, don't change it. You're happy. Be happy. Ignore what they said. In fact, block them too. Like I don't promote blocking people because it's like, why are you blocking them? They had to say something, just bruh. Like that's the thing. I'm so unbothered. Like full honesty, I'm so unbothered. Like I don't care what you gotta say about me. Just move it straight up. And especially if I don't know you in person, move it. Like, choo choo, go. Plane flight, I don't know. Get out my face. That's just that. So I feel like people definitely should just say personally, like, look at the message, get out my face. Yeah, that's that. For the blocking part, if they block you, yeah, don't pay no mind to it. Like, definitely just, I feel like my steps are look at the message, get out my face, and walk away. Period. That's what you do. Or turn that phone off.
Here's the thing. I feel as if you're still assuming that everyone has that same strength as you.
I'm not
One
assuming.
second.
I know. That's the thing. You don't believe in people, but I do. Because at the end of the day, we're all so strong. We're all so strong enough to come out in every way possible. First of all, we got LGBTQI. When did you hear that in the 2000s? Like, I remember when I was growing up, I ain't never heard too much about people like being open about who they are. So at the end of the day, that's one big thing. Second of all, we got all these big like organizations talking for like giving themselves a voice. We got all these big like politics people like arguing, going off, and at the end of the day, they're going off on each other, but they're doing it and they're speaking their mind. So it's like right now we're speaking. Right now we're in 2025. I know everybody got the strength to ignore that person because we got the strength to take everything unserious. I mean, what did you see the trend on TikTok? People like when what Katrina, the
Hurricane Katrina.
yeah, Hurricane Katrina, yeah, that happened. Nobody cared. People were going outside making TikToks. So if we could take a situation so big and not give no mind to it, it don't take that much to just ignore that one person. Swear, because ain't no way that one person owning the world. Like ain't no way. So yeah, I do believe everybody got that mentality. Just put it like, bro, it's literally how saying confidence is key. Put yourself to be confident. It's you. You're putting yourself to be like, oh, I'm that girl. Oh, I'm that man. Oh, I'm this person. So do that. The same way people say, just be confident. Just do that. Just ignore them. Just walk away. Just block them. It's easy. I really do believe it. I don't in fact, I don't believe it. I know so.
Okay. I've got a story for you.
All right.
So I think it was a year or two ago. It was a while back. But I was in my local rec center and I just finished getting Coca-Cola and I thought I ought to explore. So I went around exploring and there was this area. There was this area where kids stayed. I don't remember its name, but like you had all these kindergartner children and they were just there playing. So I thought, let me go in, let me see what's up, So I went in and what happened was like these two kids decided they were going to bully another kid. And this other kid, he just stood there because he was getting insulted. They were calling him like fat, big-headed, stuff like that. So the kid just stood there getting bullied. And when he saw me, kid ran up to me and asked me as someone he could trust or who could give him help or something. I don't know. But, what I did was I told those kids to stop. I took him away and I brought the supervisor of the kindergarten area in. Now, I tell this story for a specific reason because what if like a young child is the subject of the cyberbullying? Now, of course, young children shouldn't be on social media.
Right.
But think about this. Young children don't really have that mental fortitude. They haven't developed enough to have that kind of strength. So what would they do if not tell a trusted adult or a counselor?
That's the thing. Younger, like elementary wise, definitely go tell an adult. But I say this because you're young and like little, like you're young and like you said, they don't have that mentality to be strong. So in every way possible, if an adult isn't there to help the child, that's on the adult. That shouldn't even be on nothing. That's the adult to blame, and there's consequences to that. But when it comes to middle schoolers and high schoolers, there's not as much support, and especially now because of the fact that middle schoolers and high schoolers are acting out. Straight up. I'm not even gonna lie. So adults will prefer to move away from middle schoolers and high schoolers because they be like, oh, they on their teen years. Don't touch them. They're gonna go crazy on us. So that's why it's that with elementary kids, definitely go speak up. Go talk to an adult. that's when I do recommend it. Because at the end of the day, you're young, vulnerable, all that stuff. You have full right to go tell an adult. But a middle schooler to high schooler, they don't have that vulnerability no more. In fact, they're expected of to grow up and be mature, grow up and learn how to fix situations by themselves. So that's why I say if you're a middle schooler to high schooler, definitely go handle it on your own. Learn to ignore. Okay, don't handle it on your own.
Yeah.
Wait, don't go throw hands.
just
I'm
about
not.
to say-
Right.
yeah.
We don't promote violence, but definitely hold it on your own. Do what you gotta do. But if you're an elementary kid, go tell your mom, your dad, whoever you know listens to you best, and tell them what's going on and get it fixed up. Because at the end of the day, from elementary, that's definition of like how you get actual like health problems, like mental health. Like you start getting anxiety, you start getting ADHD, you start getting all these big things, and especially because most of the time cyberbullying is not just by somebody you don't know. Most of the time it's by somebody you know. So it's like definitely elementary kids should speak up and tell a trusted adult. But middle schoolers and high schoolers, they need to learn to handle their own and grow up, Because at the end of the day, I mean, what, sixth, seventh grade, they could get that support, but I promise you this, by middle school, you don't get as much attention as you'd want when you're in elementary. Listen to me when I say middle schoolers and high schoolers, handle your own, ignore it, walk away, get your money up. Think about money. Just think about money. I'm telling you, bro. If you think about money, that's key. Like, swear. Because you start focusing more on, like, your bright future, what you want to be, what you want to do. Just focus on that. Swear. Don't focus on what a person got to say about you. You got to learn about yourself. You need to find yourself. Don't let somebody find you. Like, simple as that.
Okay. So you've mentioned like holding your own in a situation like this, but I feel as if people shouldn't have to hold their own, Like, what about friends? Can't friends be a support system in case you're being bullied?
You right, but not every friend is a good influence, I'm not gonna lie. Like, some people like could be having this one friend that's gonna tell you, go beat them up, go fight them, go do this, go do that. No. Like, I feel like sometimes, and then you have those friends that don't have time for you, Some friends really do be doing stuff. They be having their own stuff to go on. So it's just like, yeah, you're kind of really on your own sometimes. And then it's like, not only that, but middle school, almost like halfway through high school, you don't get to meet real people, Like, heck, I don't talk to half the people I knew in middle school. So definitely just learn to hold your own, especially because at the end of the day, that's something you're going to have to do when you're old enough. Like, I'm talking about 20s. You're going to be going to work and with people that might not like you, because at the end of the day, don't think about working at McDonald's, but think about it like working at like some bank, something real estate, something, like something big, like anything that involves office, like offices, not always is the office person going to like you, but you gotta ignore.
I feel as if I see someone I know being bullied, I I feel a desire. In fact, not even someone I know. If I see someone being bullied, I feel a desire to be an upstander. I don't want to be a bystander in the background, knowing I could have done something different. So when you say like hold your own, do you mean like just like be like self-centered, or like does that include being able to help those in need?
Oh, that means like, that just means at your moment. Like, when you're going through something, go do what you gotta do. Because at the end of the day, you're thinking for yourself now. For other people, definitely go help them. See, I may be like talking, like saying, oh, like to me, I don't care. But I've been in situations where I've seen people get into it, and I'll step in. I will step in. If I'm to see something that I don't like, I will step in. I wouldn't care. But the thing is, I don't like to step in, and because that's the thing. I've stepped in before for somebody. I've stepped in big time. They did not say they ain't say nothing. In fact, they became back to friends. All this stuff. I wouldn't stand up as much, But if I really see the problem like big time, like I'm talking about this kid crying, they saying I don't want this beef, I will automatically go and stand up for them, no matter what. Like I will go and stand up for them. I won't think it twice. But that's the thing. Don't expect that because you stood up for somebody, they gonna stand up for you, because that just doesn't happen all the time. So that's why I say do learn to do things for yourself, because at the end of the day, you could do something for somebody else, but you're not gonna get the same back. So definitely that's why I say like hold your own, learn to be by yourself more all the time, because you really much ain't gonna get the same if you do it for other people or you expect other people to do it for you. So definitely.
I feel like I agree with you. I think you can be both self-reliant, but also the change you want to see in the world.
Right. No, yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, no, be the change that you want to be. Like, definitely the change that you want, set the example. Because, like I said, you need an adult to set an example for a child. So, set the example. So, yeah, definitely. When it comes to ensuring that people don't get bullied for social media, what do you think should be done?
I mean, here's the thing. If you don't want to be cyberbullied on social media, there are, like, I think on just about every site, there are preventative measures you can take. You could private your story, you could block someone, you could hide a comment, stuff along those lines. In fact, I'd say also don't share any personal information with strangers or just people you can't really trust.
Right. And that's the thing. Because of social media, a lot of people say a lot about their lives. And yeah, don't overshare. Because, like I said, the more you overshare, the more reasons you give somebody to talk crap. And you know what? I'll say you give a lot of reasons for somebody to talk shit, honestly. So just, yeah, learn to keep yourself private. Learn to not overspeak. Learn to not overspeak. Like learn to be your own person and learn to ignore the haters. Like I know everybody has heard haters. Thank you to my haters. This. Bro, your haters gonna be your biggest fans. So just think of them like another fan. Straight up. You're not famous, but shit, they took their time to go look at you and be like, oh, she ugly from here, here, here. Because I'm telling you, when people talk shit, bro, they had to have been looking big time, big fucking time, to see that and find that big flaw that they're speaking so much about. So, yeah, like definitely, I know what I speak about, and yeah, for
All
sure.
right. If you're being bullied in the real world or being bullied online, remember how resilient you are. Remember that like that strength you have.
Right. Remember, all of us are strong, guys. We're all strong. We all could do anything. Same way as you can make anything possible, you can make your attitude be possible. Like get that energy you need. So
That's good. We've been your hosts, Rashawn and Camilla, for Echoes of the Feed. Thank you.